Well, good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Hope you're all doing well and a huge welcome. So, I'm going to do another bloom today, and I just want to do it in a slightly different way. So, I've been doing quite a few blooms using that spiral technique. So, there are so many other ways you can do it. So, today I want to do it so that it forms a smaller petal. So, I've got a 1-to-1 resin. And as always, I've let it stand for 20 minutes. It has to heat up a little bit. So I'm on about 18 minutes at the moment here. So I'm going to pour a little bit out and I'm going to mix my white pigment paste into it. By the time I finish that, we should be on about 20 minutes. So I'm not putting too much pigment paste on there. It's probably about 2 drops. And then I'm just going to mix it in really well. And then I'll just put that aside until I need it. So it's got a bit of an opaque look to it. It's not solid white. So the resin I'm pouring into my mold now is slightly warm. And the minute I pour it into my mold, because the mold is a cooler surface, the resin is going to start contracting. So it starts pulling in towards the center. And that is why it is imperative that you let your resin warm up. And it's going to be different for different resins. But I find 20 minutes is usually an overall good time. So I'm placing my alcohol inks in the sort of place I want it to be. And I'm just using, I think it's called an apple green. And then I'm using a pink. And I just wanted the pink to be a little bit darker. So I've added a little bit more. And then what I've done is I've just taken the back end of a long toothpick and I'm just making these little swirls. And hopefully those are going to form into petals. Now, sometimes it is quite tricky and you'll find that you'll get a bit of a blob. Just stop what you're doing and try and spread that blob out a little bit, because you don't, when you demold, you don't want to see a big white blob in your bloom. So just try and spread it out. Take a little toothpick and then just pull it out. And I'm just doing these. I'm going slightly bigger as I get towards the outer side of the mold. And hopefully these will spread in and form lots of little petals. So it will just be a more compact flower. Obviously, if you're using a bigger mold, you're going to do bigger petals. And you're going to end up kind of getting a rose effect. And then I'm just going to cover it and I'm going to leave it overnight and just let it work its magic. And then I'll put a backing on. I'm just doing a little swirl in the middle, not too much. Don't go too deep with it. Just do the surface. And so this is the next day, and I've got 50 grams of my 1-to-1 resin, and I'm just putting in some black pigment powder. And of course, your gloves when you're working with resin. And then I just used my heat gun and I went over it very quickly just to remove the bubbles. I covered it and I left it overnight. It didn't come out too bad. I quite liked it. In hindsight, I should maybe have made the petals a little bit bigger, but it's still nice. It's kind of the effect that I wanted. But I hope that helped. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm consistently putting up new things, and you'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.